Link's up. Okay, cool. I'm just getting online, so I don't know what the
always
heck
works.
happened. But
When in doubt,
I'm
turn it
gonna
off
do
and
right
turn it
now. So I'll be able to put it up. You don't even got to worry about that. Cool. Let me get on there. I'm on YouTube.
The only cameras that are on are the.
Those three.
No, these
Mhm.
are
Okay, that one right there. Which ones are on? But you got it up already for me. You're the man. I gotta change the name and stuff. Yeah, yeah.
Can we
Hi
copy?
everyone.
Copy yet,
not-
or-
We're
not
waiting
yet,
for
not
the
yet,
link
'cause
to
it
go
still says
live.
the
We're
name.
about to go on pod.
Give me 1 second, and then we can do all that.
The link for the pod is in my bio. If you guys want to tune in, we got Power Slap, the assassin,
Let's go.
Jacob, Howls over Baaz, Melanie, the cutie pie,
Hey.
and me, the loud one. I'm the loud Tia. I'm just streaming on TikTok too. Who is this? Hi. Mental health and children. Ooh, I like that discussion. Hi.
Okay, let's put the link up now.
Okay.
It's all good to go. Let's put the link up.
I like what you're doing here. We shall talk again.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
We're
you
about.
for coming out.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was dope. I just got invited to join somebody else's live, and the subject was mental health and children.
Oh,
I
wow.
like that kind of stuff. That's like
Yep.
right up my. That's what I like.
That's important.
Okay, so the link is up.
Link is
All
up.
right. Do you have the YouTube page? Go to YouTube. Howls over Baaz. And then when it comes up, I'm gonna show you real quick.
Yeah, it's over here.
You have it? So
Yeah.
click the three dots.
Mm-hmm. And then just share the live link.
It says save. No, it says save. Watch later.
Where's the board?
Phones are different.
Yeah,
Oh
it's-
no.
So you don't, you don't
Oh,
Android
shit.
users.
Set on there. too.
Apple
Shed the
people.
I'll do it in my mind.
sheet. Shed the sheet.
Can you
It said, look,
Oh, Apple
it's right
people,
here.
what's up?
Look,
that
shed the sheet.
It's this one, but
That's what it is.
that's only
Okay,
to
so
share.
then copy the link. And then you can share it on Instagram on your story. So I can send you the video.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna keep it like
Thanks,
coming
Mel.
out. I want his.
Yeah.
How we looking, guys?
Pretty legit.
Okay, we're good on the cameras right now?
All right, I'm gonna send you the
Okay.
video, and then what is your Where's your Instagram again? P.
All right, I got it up, so I'm ready when you guys are now.
Okay.
I think I added
I
you with
saw
your
it popped
Instagram.
up on Rumble. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead.
Is it the
Yeah, DA.
underscore?
Yep.
Got it.
Pono, right? How do you say your last name, Pono?
Pow.
Pow. Okay, Pono Pow. Dang, that's
So-
Pow.
that is badass. For
Come
a
on,
fast
man.
guy, yeah.
So you can-
We gotta wait
It was
though.
meant to be.
Yeah, we did.
Meant
Go to
be.
your inbox,
Yep, got it.
and then
Got it.
No, not that. Or that one actually.
This one, add the story.
Yeah, and then you can just put the link on there too.
We don't get to
Yeah,
This.
there you go. Link and then paste. It's still sending the video I sent you.
It worked out you being late. We had
God's timing, my brother.
Y'all set?
Yeah,
yeah.
I believe in it all.
Start? Okay.
me
Mic check.
too.
Let's do mic check.
Does it already have music to it or no?
I'm gonna swing a little boomerang
It is.
towards your way.
You guys ready?
Everybody,
Is it ready?
put
I
their
don't know if
headphones
that
on. Let's
one
do
does.
mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
Mic check.
Let me hear you, Mel.
Mic check.
Let me hear you, Pono.
Oh, there you go.
What's going on?
There you
Okay,
go.
cool. You want
We
to
live.
Okay, so we're ready. And we are live. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and Kick. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back with you, Howlers. We'll be right back.
That's all good, though.
Howls over Baaz. I'm Jacob Casas.
I'm Cat Baby.
And it's Melanie.
And today we have a very special guest. We got Pono Pow from Power Slap. But I'm going to have him introduce himself to our audience. Let him know a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my name's Pono. I'm the Hawaiian Assassin, a.k.a. Hawaiian Assassin. And I am ranked number 5 in the world for Power Slap.
Dang, so how did you get to that ranking? How did you get there?
So I had to build it up. I started off at number 8, but originally I was on season 3, Road to the Title. Got to live in a house with a bunch of guys, be able to compete with them after, and had 2 matches. At the end of those 2 matches, they liked my performance. They liked what I was doing out there, so they decided to put me up as
See the whole
the Ultimate
whole
Fighter
house thing.
Mm-hmm.
So explain to us like the process, like a little bit about how you got in the house, how you got picked, all that kind of stuff.
So originally how I was introduced to Power Slap was through a friend. I met him in 2016, and he's been my friend ever since. And his uncle is Azio Rodriguez, and he was on the very first season 1, Road to the Title. And it wasn't until he made it to a live event and he was able to compete on one of those like main events that I saw the opportunity to be able to kind of get into Power Slap because my friend was telling me, he's like, hey, my uncle's about to compete on this one. Can you do me a favor? Can you take a picture of me? I'm going to be in the background holding up the Mexican flag. And then I chose that perfect timing. His uncle's walking out. He's behind and the flag's up there. Snapped the picture and then it clicked in my head.
Nice.
I was like, this is something different. This is going to be something that's going to be growing, just like the UFC, starting off from the
It's only been like 19 months,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like huge. It was blowing up on Rumble like crazy.
Yes.
So I mean, how does that feel to be part of something? I mean, I feel like you got it at the perfect timing because Dana White is so involved in it right now,
Mm-hmm.
and with UFC, I mean, it seems like it's even growing faster than UFC did.
It is.
It's just
It is.
huge. Like it's on everything. You see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you scroll through TikTok, through Instagram, it's on almost every single reel, and then, the people now the recognition, just kind of walking around because I live in San Diego, so it's walking around, going to the gym, and hey man, you're that Power Slap guy, right? It's like I've seen you before. I've seen you on my Instagram reels or my TikTok
Nice.
reels. I was like, oh yeah, that's me. He's like, bro, you did that with your left hand. He's like, what? We got to see that right hand in action, And it's like it's just mind blowing. It's surreal. It's a very surreal moment for me. It's like because I was never introduced to something like that before. This is my first time ever being on TV, ever competing in general. I was always into the general fitness side of it. I ran a lot of the UFC gyms in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Started off with a small 2,200 square foot club in Spring Valley, then San Carlos Sports Arena, Mission Valley. And then when it became corporate, kind of just the whole entire transition, they ended up shutting those things down. So that was kind of around like right when I first moved to California back in 2012.
So you have an MMA background, obviously.
I do.
So-
Yeah. So kickboxing and Muay Thai.
Okay, and you said you trained. I mean, you were in the training in the UFC gyms, but what gyms were you training in before all that?
So originally I was with Smith's Kickboxing for 2
Okay.
years in Hawaii. And then when I transitioned out here to San Diego, I fell in love with the community, the MMA community, and started to reach out and look at other clubs. There was the Arena. That was a big one for me because we had a friend that still our friend, but he's transitioned from club to club, and that's kind of how the community is, jumping back and forth from which one, provides the best interest for them. So he transitioned from the Arena, and now he works with Chris Lieben. Chris Lieben has his one training center.
Wow, that's
The training
crazy.
center,
He was
yeah.
like one of the on the original what is it, UFC shows, right? Lieben?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
he's old school, man.
Yeah, he was known for his
Ultimate
trash talking
Fighter
and
or
crazy. He's the
all
zombie.
those? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that's crazy, dude.
Yep. So that was the big transition, is like knowing these people and kind of getting introduced to the MMA world, the MMA community, and then made friends along the way. Introduced to the commercialized side of it with the UFC gym, and then the people that I knew kind of just made that reconnection. So I have a friend that owns a gym that's called Premier Fight and Fitness. His name is Zach.
Where's that? I feel like I know that gym. I've heard of it.
It's in Spring Valley. So
Okay.
it originally started right after the UFC gym in Spring Valley had shut down, October 2016, and I was running the gym at the moment, and I already had hired my two friends over to kind of work and teach classes, do the Muay Thai classes, do the kickboxing classes there. And we saw the opportunity to be able to, promote a different gym and keep the community still strong in that area. And Spring Valley's, it's not the best place. It's, a little ghetto here. It's
I feel like everywhere has a little bit of ghetto somewhere.
come on.
Community is important.
For sure.
Everywhere.
And then, we really saw the difference because of all the kids, the kids' lives that we changed, and people coming into the gym every single day. They didn't have any other things to do except come there. And, we're operating right across from a school. You got an elementary school and an intermediate school that's right across the street. And these kids are kind of just running amok. They're walking around all day. They're hanging out with each other, and no real guidance or,
You guys should start like a
driven to
youth
something.
center. You guys remember youth centers back in the days? It was a thing. I remember my class that I took was ceramics. I'm a girl or whatever. But they had boxing and they had classes like that for kids.
Yeah.
And it was right across the street from my intermediate school.
Yeah.
It's middle school.
MMA really helps you though. When you get in, like if you're like, busting out ruckus and just being crazy, it like really shows that
Disciplines
you
you.
ain't as bad as you thought you were.
Right.
And it humbles you and it kind
For
of gives
sure.
you discipline. I mean, my trainer did at the time, because me and my brother were just hardcore, like running around like crazy. And you get in MMA and it's just like humbles you. I think it's really good for kids.
Yeah.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
So being that Power Slap is kind of new, right? Like relatively new. How do you feel that MMA community receives Power Slap competitors? Do you think it's like a good thing, and if they don't receive you well, what do you got to say to them?
So just like the sport, it's growing, right?
Yeah.
And the love for the sport is growing. So a lot of the people don't agree, with the UFC fighters. They don't agree with what's going on in Power Slap. They think it's a joke. Some people just don't really take it serious. I mean, but people are getting knocked out by a slap.
Yeah.
It's completely different. And then when you ask a lot of the UFC competitors if they would try it, if they'd go out there and do it, I mean, they turn it down. One, whether it not be the money for them, or two, is just it just doesn't make any sense. Oh no, I'm gonna put my hands behind my back, be defenseless, and let this guy slap me in the face. How am I gonna respond to that? It's not gonna be where I just stand in front of him
Stand
like,
there,
yeah,
let
I'm
them
gonna
hit
get
me,
you.
yeah.
It's I'm gonna shoot, I'm gonna take you down, I'm gonna knock you out, I'm gonna try and get you. So it's like
Yeah.
the
Different
response is different.
dynamics, yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
in a
sure.
sense, it takes kind of another level of calmness and discipline
Yeah.
to stand there and
Well-
just let someone hit you.
Well,
Yeah.
what's crazy is when I first seen it, I was just like, why would you let someone smack you like that?
Yeah, same.
But-
Because I've always even in high school, they used to play slap or slap box. I think that's what it was
Yep,
called.
slap boxing, yep.
And people would get crazy and in your face, and I'm like, oh, that's one place. Don't
Yeah,
ever
we
hit
used to
me in
always
my
do that
face.
shit.
That's where I draw the line.
Yeah.
But Raiden is the one that gave me a different outlook on it. Because I was like, man, why would you let someone just slap you like that? And then, but it's a sport.
Yeah.
They have all these different crazy sports. Like it's dope. He's like, what he told me, and I liked his analogy on it. He's like, it's like people like two cowboys go out and they're doing like a draw. It's like whoever's basically gonna do first, hit first. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys are the ones that win.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a sport, and I'm like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense.
But
And
they don't do it at the same time. It's
No, they
one or
don't.
the other. And
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
whole training and process that goes into it. Because I think I've seen a couple of videos where you guys prepare, you guys actually train.
Well, a lot
So
of
it's
them- And a lot of them are MMA fighters. So it's like when people are talking shit, like when I get mad now when I see people talking shit to like Raiden and stuff. I'm like, motherfucker, this fool is MMA too. Like, you don't know. He's like,
Yeah.
I'll beat your ass. Da, 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 da. They all talk shit. I'm like, a lot of these dudes are MMA fighters before they get into
So
this.
is that the
Correct.
misconception with power slap and MMA fighters? That's where the gap is, kind of.
I think it's more of the seriousness of it, right? Because you see that UFC requires a different caliber of
Training.
striker, fighter, training, everything. And that's the part where there's a little bit of respect loss, you know, because, oh, well, this guy really doesn't have to train, right? He just can go out there. He's going to do, and that's how it started, you know, with the very first Power Slap, the very first season was people that are very green, you know, same thing with me. When I jumped into season 3 Road to the Title, and a lot of the people that were with me on the show, we're green. We don't know what's going on out there. So it's like it's practice for us. It's a learning experience.
They did this in Russia, like some big ass motherfuckers like
Juiced
slapping
out.
each other
That's
out.
crazy.
Yeah.
Juiced out, bro. There's no restrictions to
And you can,
any
like,
of the
I feel like
supplements out there.
The right hit, like you can really fracture
hell
even
yeah.
as powerful as a slap. Like, because I've seen your video and your knockouts. You have 2 knockouts, right? And the last guy, I can't remember his name, but I was like, dang, the slow motion. It looks like it hurts so much. Yeah, I'm like, man.
Well, that's when I fought Cooper Housley in December.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
That was my the highlight reel knockout, right?
Yeah.
But I lost the coin toss on that one, and
Wow.
and they called me for flinching on the first slap, so I had to take 2 slaps, and then after that respond and still have that composure and be able to go out there and still have the accuracy and kind of drive it to them. But
You can't move until they slap you.
you cannot move.
Wow.
You can't shift.
No flinching.
And the best way I had explained it is that, like, your chin position. Once you shift and move your chin position, whether it's forward, backward, sideways, however that goes, that's considered a flinch. You're dipping into the hit. It's a flinch,
And then you can't stiffen up either, because if you stiffen up, it's a worse hit.
Do not hold your breath. Do not hold your breath the whole entire time, because you that whole time you're cranking and you're just waiting for a hit.
Yeah.
The guy's getting on there, and he's putting his hand on your face, and he's kind of timing you. He's probably feeling you out. He's like, oh wow, this guy's he's really shaking and trembling. He's holding his breath, right?
Feel it go
And
with
then that's
you.
it. He can wait you out for another couple seconds until you're all depleted, and send that one hit that might put you down.
How was that transition though? Because doing MMA, you were used to like dodging hits and all that. So it's almost like a reaction, right? But then you have to learn to just sit there and take it. Was that a hard transition?
I'm going to be honest with you. I have a sickness. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it just standing in front of somebody and being able to test your skill, test your mind too. That's a big thing for me. It's mindset. So So
how do you do that? Let me hear a little bit. Like, what do you do to test their mind? Like, what do you do?
Like, you have
when
to
you're up
literally
there?
turn a switch on in your mind.
Let's
hear about
how do you do that?
It's set all the way across the board. This game is chess. It's not checkers. There's positions and movements that you got to do. There's ways you got to practice. Ways you got to develop the defensive side of it and the offensive side of it. And it's looked at differently. Traditionally, when you get up there, you're in a bar. That's what it started off from, in the backyard in a bar. Hey, this guy's showing up to whack this guy in the face, and then you just go out there and take the hit. Now there's a better an athletic understanding to it, how things are developed through the kinetic chain. Work your way up from everything, the positioning of where you crank from. I don't know if you guys Raiden has mentioned it, but me and my brother created a style called the lean on one, and that's basically starting at the ending point of where you want to finish, right? So if I'm gonna end up swinging, I start from this position here, shift all the way back, all the way across, and then I come through. So just having those little small things, those little nuances of things that you can do, kind of shifts the way that the game and how everything is thought of and how it works. It's the biomechanics. It's scientific now. You got to start thinking outside of the box.
You're the pioneers, really, of this, if you really think about it, because you're trying to create, with the rules that they have and everything, you're trying to create the best ways to do it.
Correct.
Through all kinds of different ways of practice.
Correct.
Does training involve you guys slapping each other a lot?
So not so much of us just delivering, taking hits like that. There's other ways to practice, like stability stuff, Bosu ball work, things that can really kind of just get you grounded, so that way you have a better stance per se. The taking the hit part, I mean, there's no real training that you can do for that. Just like taking the hit, you go out there and you hold yourself still as best as you possibly can and just brace up for it. But there's small little things that you can do in the brace that will give you a little bit more percentage, a little bit of better odds of coming out, not knocked out or concussed.
How does tell us about a slap that really just got you, like where you're just like, damn, that one got me.
I'll tell you right now, I got knocked out on my second fight by James Seekman, and that one, and it's a lot of other factors too, things that are happening already at that time, and you got to understand that, like, with the season, even though that it's stretched out over 2 months or 3 months, it's all compiled in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So I'm taking on a fight 3 days, 4 days, right after they've already kind of like, oh, okay, you're gonna make it to the house. They give you your necklace, they put a microphone on you, and you're gonna go in there. And so like
Wow.
the next 4 days, you're gonna fight somebody. You're gonna battle somebody. I don't want to say fight. I would
Kind
say
of fast paced, seems like.
it's fast. It's fast. And then after that, you only have 2 or 3 days of rest before they're already setting up for the next bout. You know, this thing's got to be done in 2 weeks for them to, you know, get all that content out there and be able to do all that stuff. So
You're taking this like real seriously. Like you're completely involving and like getting deep into the sport and trying to learn it and you want to like, is that what you're doing? You're trying to be like the man at this sport?
I think I have this like thing where I'm just constantly obsessed with whatever I put my time and effort into. And that's a big thing. And in this sport and any other thing that you're doing, you should be obsessed like that, right? And it's like then you get a better understanding of what's going on. You know, I don't want to be the guy that you know, kind of stupid to what's happening. You know, I want to be ahead of the game, at least 2 moves, 3 moves ahead of anybody out there.
Yeah.
So I got to learn and I got to watch. And that was a big thing, is patience and observation. I'm sitting there and I'm watching people, how they move, how they operate. I watched every single show. Once I put in my application and I knew that this was going to be something different for me, it's all go from there. And I've done that with multiple other things too in life. You know, it's not just that. I've applied myself in other things that has got me to get some craziness out of my.
Tell us a little about it.
Come on, man. Dude. I've done some crazy stuff in the casino that nobody would even imagine.
Tell us a little bit about that. Let's go ahead. Get it on the house over
Story
Baaz right here.
time.
Story time.
Okay, so I've taken Viejas Casino for 1.2 million dollars.
Damn.
Wow.
And I've gone crazy. The crazy part about it is I started from a $3,000 bankroll, and I ran that thing up in March 2021. And this is before I met, you know, even Mike, and you'll talk to him later on. But and during that transition of knowing that Mike was in San Diego, and I wanted to get onto the like Closure Academy and do all the other things, and I felt like that was going to be the transition because I was already in sales. I know I've ran all the UFC gyms at this moment in time. I kind of have the understanding. I've done personal development stuff with trainers. So sales is going to be easy for me. I just jump in there. And during around the same time when I'm trying to make the connection with Mike in the Closing Academy, I get on this crazy run. And my first hit housed me up, and I was be able to stay there and live in the penthouse, live in the villa, eat all the free food, all the free shows.
I'm going gambling with you.
Come on, man. Come on. And,
What's your game?
Baccarat.
Oh, okay.
Baccarat. Yep. So I started off as a blackjack player, you know, for like almost 4.5 years, 5 years, and I met my Somalian friend, and his name is Jamal, and we used to tag team and hit the blackjack tables. You know, he'd be first base, I'd be last base, I'd be first base. You know, you just switch it up from time to time. And he disappeared for like 2 weeks, and I was like, dude, where is this guy? Where did he disappear off to? You know? And he was on the side hustle. He was doing Uber and Lyft, and he was taking all the high end Asians that was gambling in the casinos to all different other casinos. And then this guy comes back with a story of like, hey man, look, I just cracked this casino for like almost 30,000-40,000. What?
Wow.
How? He's like, bro, I need you on the table. Blackjack is calling, you know, like, let's do this. And he's like, yeah, brother, I don't play that game no more. I play Baccarat. So he takes me to the table and he shows me. He takes out an $8,000 bankroll, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, this is the fountain of youth right here. This is the best right here. So let me see how it goes. He starts playing. He loses like 6,000 probably in the last 15, 20 minutes. I was like, you were trying to teach me this game? No worries, brother. Don't worry. And, you know, with that real Somalian, like, don't worry, brother. Watch. You'll see. And he starts betting on these bonus bets called the Dragon and the Panda, and he's betting $100 a pop. Well, it pays 40 to 1. So when he cracks it, he gets 4,000. He cracks 3 of them in a row, but not consecutively.
Damn.
But like within that shoe, he's up that 4,000 every single hand. Then he starts cracking on the hands. By the time he gets off the table, he has 27,000. He started off with 6,000 bankroll, and then busted out another 2 and used that to flip it. So now he's got big money on the table. It clicks, and like I told you earlier, it's like the obsession. Right? As soon as I see something that works like that, okay, Now I got to put my time and my effort.
I gotta figure it out.
I got to figure it out.
You're a betting man. You're even betting up
I,
there.
I
stacking.
risk it all. I
Yeah.
risk it all.
Bet on
Trust,
yourself.
believe.
Right?
That's it. So I'm trying to make that transition. Okay, let me learn the game. Let me figure out how it goes. And I took some L's, just like anything in life. You got to take some L's, just kind of figure out how everything works. You start to have a little superstitious in you. Oh, don't trust that person. Oh, not this guy over here. Oh, okay, when they bet, I'll bet over here. And I start doing all that little things that creates the strategy, creates the plan, right? And then when once you find out what your means are, you can stick within it.
Yeah.
I want to make $300 to $500 a day. This is how I'm going to shoot it.
Yeah.
And then you start breaking it down, get a bigger goal, and then break all the little small goals up, so that way you can kind of get to that bigger goal. Whether it takes a year, whether it takes a month, you can do it from there. Just it's mindset at that point. So
That's what we got. Actually,
Driven.
people all up for me to see it.
All right.
Go ahead and read it.
Reading said, let's go.
Yes,
Love,
sir.
bro. 1 year ago today, we were in House on season 3.
Yep, that's exactly.
Okay, this man's the lion of the house. His knockout on Cooper Housley was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. He was definitely a lion. Homie of season 3. So I was going to say, along with the anticipation of preparing, is there anyone that you're looking forward to matching up with?
I mean,
Dun,
yeah,
dun. Call him out.
Want to call somebody out on Howls over Baaz? Arr, you gotta call them out.
Look,
They're
listen,
gonna put you in the hot seat for sure.
I'm a big guy on loyalty.
Okay.
Okay, so when I'm going through the house and I'm experiencing all these things, I get to build these relationships with all these people. But originally, when I first got on the show, my main focus was to get to the title, get out, and try to make it as fast as possible. And I realized that once I start like walking around and I'm at the hotel and I'm kind of just like seeing all the people there and I'm kind of doing my thing, the lion kind of just prowling outside on the gates and I'm trying to see what the next competition comes through the door, I start to realize that everybody that's coming into this thing is just normal, regular Joes, just like me. And that's where things change. It takes a shift. And I'm thinking, okay, the best way to do this is to try to change and help others. And instead of me just thinking about me being selfish, me going out there and getting the title, I'm like, things are going to come the way it's going to come. I feel like God's alignment is always there, and he always puts it there first. So if you just believe and you have faith and you put all your eggs in that basket, things are going to come out better than you think that it would, right? The concept of, okay, well, you know what? So now when I'm on the show, I start to build all these relationships with all the people. So just like Raiden, Gianni, and a whole bunch of other people that are on there. My brother also competes in Power Slap, and he was on the show for the second half of it. Nice. But I get to, really get to see how people are and see that they're just like me. You know what I mean? A lost soul just trying to find their way through life. Yeah. So now I can see that, okay, all the things that I went through, if I can help them figure out all these little parts to fix what they're going through at that moment in time, dude, I've solved the puzzle. That's the riddle of life, is to be able to make a mass movement of things and help everybody focus on one goal. And the one goal is being the best version of yourself. And that's the key. And so like when
who do you want to slap?
Stop.
Stop playing.
Let me get inspirational for a second. So anyway.
How long did it take you to get from when you first started to the top eight ranking?
So I've only been doing this for a year.
Oh, a year. Wow.
Yeah. So I was number 8 after the season 3 road to the title. Okay. And then I was able to face Cooper Housley, which was number 5. Got the knockout on that one, became number 5. And then just recently, March 7th, I faced against Dorian Perez, number 1 in the world.
Wow.
And I lost by a split decision, but at the end of that fight, I feel like I won just because I've got the experience, I got the knowledge. I know exactly what's going on now. I got to test the limits, see exactly where I need to be and where my training needs to be and how my thought process.
Because you were matched up with the top in the game.
He's number 1.
Yeah, so it's like now, okay, where can I improve in my technique, my training, to get to that spot?
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's just breaking it down with all the small stuff. But anyway, Wes Mena, number 3 in the world right now.
Bam, bam, give that bump right
Come
there.
On. And the thing is that he was on season 3 road to the title with me as well. And we had this brotherhood and everything was going the way it was, but there's a lot of with this game and with life, there's always going to be those moments and times where people are trying to climb up and get to the next level, and he's
Yeah.
doing exactly that. And you know, I can't take anything from him on that side of it, but when you start with the disloyalty and the disrespect and all the other things,
Oh, that's what's going on right
oh,
now.
big time, bro,
Oh,
big time.
okay.
And I don't want to
So you
sit here
guys
and
get
just.
smacked then.
I'm a dangerous person, but I'm also a very kind person as well. And a lot of people see the kind side of me, and a lot of people see the dangerous side of me. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not nobody to push over, bro. Don't take my kindness for weakness,
Yeah.
because I'm loyal to the people that are loyal to me.
Those are the most dangerous people that are kind. When they
Yeah.
can
Come on, man.
like stuff that in, because you only need to bring it out when it's time. That's
Yep.
it. You know,
Yeah,
bring
'cause
it out.
As a kind person, how mad do we get when we're being nice and people screw us over?
Yep. So on this last one at PS12, you know, he was also competing on the same card as me, and I went against Dorian Perez. He went against Aaron Turner, ranked number 6. And at the very end of all this stuff, and it wasn't even more of, it's just the little things that you say and the build up, and I know where it's going. You know what I mean? It's not
Going
nothing.
to this 5 hands.
It's not nothing. It's not nothing new to me. I think chess, not checkers. I'm watching. I see you moving. I see the way you're acting. I see the way things are changing. People are coming up to me and telling me things about the way you talking about me, the way you acting. And then when I call it and I confront it, and that's a big thing that I learned from Mike too, is like, because I was always that guy that would just kind of put it to the side, not really call it to its face. But now, you know, he said, "Hey, bro, look, you gotta confront
Oh,
this
yeah.
shit
Yeah,
at
nip it
the
in the
fucking
butt.
at the front door,
Yep.
because if you let that in your mind, it's just gonna continue to mess with you." So I go out there and I shoot it, because I can see it already. I can see it building. So
It's best way. Pop.
that's it. That's it. And you know what? I've got the knowledge and the skill set to be able to put that thing down. I guarantee it. So he's number 3 in the world. And I just want to prove everybody right. You know what I mean? And just show them exactly what it is.
I want to see this one. Like, I've already like, wait a minute, I gotta see this.
I'm gonna be watching.
The truth shall set you free. That's the reality. It sets you free every single time, man.
So I want to ask you too, because I hear you talk about faith and God a lot. So is that your foundation? Is that what you build yourself off of?
So honest wasn't always my foundation. I come from a troubled past. My family. I was adopted at a young age by my aunt and my uncle, and been raised with them ever since. So there's a lot of trauma, there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of things that have gone on, and not to say that I've lived a bad life. You know, my mom spoiled me being the youngest. You know, and I have 2 older brothers and an older sister in the family that, you know, currently lives here in San Diego in California. But my real family is a family of 9. It's
Wow.
they're
Big
massive,
family.
and it's my sister, my mom's sister. So I don't know, man. In a way, God does what He does. You know, I was supposed to be the abortion child and not supposed to be born, and my mom saved me. And I mean, she did it for a reason, you know. And whether God was pushing on her to hey, take care of this child, because, you know, after my mom had me, she had 2 more kids after me. So, you know, for all my life, I've lived with that trauma. I mean, I learned about it when I was 7, 8 years old. So I lived with that trauma all that time, finding out about, you know, what was going on in my life. And I'm talking about, like, my real sister and my real brother were at all of our parties, and I saw them all the time.
You just never knew that they were.
They were my cousins.
Oh wow.
They were my cousins. And then that just really that was the pivotal moment. It took a turn, and troublemaking success, man. It's just crazy, just going out there and doing stuff, you know.
Thing, and now it's like, wait, that's not really what it is. It's like,
Right.
wait, so my family just hid this from me. You guys all knew. You know what I mean? So I could see how, like, that would get anyone into, like, trouble.
Yeah.
Really.
Into troublemaker.
Yeah.
A troublemaker.
And I don't, you know, I don't hold anything against them for whatever it is, you know what I mean? People are going through, you know, hard times and struggles and things that they were going through at that moment, that they had to make those decisions.
Right.
And it is what it is, and
Yeah.
you know, just gotta grow from those moments, you know. And
Yeah.
that's my biggest thing, is that
What did you do though to grow from that? What did you do to get past that? I mean, I think it'd be good to get people like some advice on that. Like, how did you get past all that?
working on the mindset.
Okay.
The mindset is everything.
Do you think the Power Slap helped you kind of get there too, focus and?
So Power Slap, and I mean we can go on stories after stories, but Power Slap really gave me a platform to be able to reach others. But originally, when I got on Power Slap, you know, besides, you know, meeting all these people, having these opportunities, getting on, is I have a daughter that's 3 years old that I haven't seen since she was. I mean, 3 years old. She's 16 now, but I haven't seen her since she was 3.
Oh.
And that was my main focus. Was okay. Now I have a platform that, I don't have a connection with my daughter. Don't have any custody. They moved away from Hawaii. I moved away from Hawaii. I'm living in California now, and I've been trying to rebuild and rekindle that relationship with my daughter ever since she was 3 years old, and it's always been a dead end at every single time I reached out. It's always been a dead end, and it's probably a lot has to do with just got to be honest with myself. I was a piece of shit back in the day, real shit, a piece of shit. And I'm going through a lot of those struggles and all those things. And I'm young. I had her when I was 19. I just didn't know what I was doing in life. I couldn't. I had a hard time owning up to, dude, you just had a kid. It's like that's you have a child. You have somebody. So I tried to make the relationship work to try to be with my daughter as best as possible. But the relationship wasn't going good. So now I try to make it where it's just me and my daughter. And then, the rug gets pulled from underneath you and things start happening and all the stuff starts going down a bad road because now my ex's relationship starts to make that turn of, well, I'm not trying to give you custody of her. It's like you barely can take care of yourself. You're out here running amok, doing all your crazy things and, just trying to be a young, dumb kid. Like she's not going to do good in your hands. And, this is where it hits is that it's real. It's real to me. Because at that time I was a dumb kid, just doing all the stupid things and not really thinking about the life that I brought into this world, and then making the transition. So even during that whole entire time, and to go back to your question about God, is I didn't believe, I wasn't a believer, and it wasn't until now within the last 2 years, 3 years, have kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together that there is a divine being. There's somebody always watching over everything that's going on. It's an energy, it's a vibration, and it's literally just pushing on you at moments and times and telling you what to do and how to move and how to operate. And the things that you think that you're doing, it's usually not typically you telling you what to do. This world is a spiritual world. There's a lot of angels and a lot of demons.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is that I had a lot of demons in me, just trying to work its way out, trying to figure out how to entice this guy a little bit more with the drug addictions, with the gambling and all the stuff. I mean, we talk about it like it was something cool, but at the end of the day, it's a curse.
Yeah.
Those things are all my vices. They're playing on my soul every single day, every time I'm trying to go out there. So I had to find another outlet. And then, I have a son. His name is King. So Raiden has a son. His name is King.
Yeah.
And I have a son. His name is King, and he's 6 years old. And real stuff. My wife is the spiritual connection. She is the one, like the Neo. She has a gift that I've never seen before in my life, and I'm Hawaiian, right? The culture is real. We believe in the spirits. We believe in the energy. We believe in all those things. So I've seen it with my mom because my mom, even a lot of the stuff that she's went through in her life, she's been able to come out of those things unscathed or not,
Right.
and make it happen for the family every single time. And I could see it. Her gift is helping others. She has that gift to be able to. She'll give you the shirt off her back. She'll give you the last of the food. She'll give you everything. And it's not. You don't have to be family. You could be a friend that lives right down the street. You going through hard times. That lady's on the side of the road. You got to stop and pick her up. You got to help her out. And that's my mom. And then I start seeing the same things in my wife. And it's just like, they're just real, genuine, true people. She doesn't have to lie to move around in this world. She doesn't have to say fake stuff. She's not fake at all. So now when I'm around her, I get insecure because I'm a person that's not really at that moment. I'm still figuring out how to move and how to operate. So having her around in my life and having a very strong mother, but having her around in my life has been a complete change, and that's the faith side of it. I go to a church called Oasis Church right down the street from my house. I drove past that thing for years. We lived at that property for almost 4 years. I drove past it every single day, and I never even stopped there. And my wife was the one like, hey, you live right down the street from a church. Why aren't you going down there? Like we need to introduce something because the same problems and situations, and that's how I know it's myself. I know it's self-inflicted. The same problems that I was going with my ex that had my daughter is the same things that was happening with my current wife at the very beginning stages, and I could see it and I could notice it. But my stupid ass, I'm kind of like, you know what? I'm just doing my own thing. I still gotta believe in what it is. I'm a man. There's pride, there's ego, there's all kinds of stuff that fall into these things. And I start continuing to just believe in myself instead of believing in the process and believing in the plan. And then obviously God comes in at that moment in time and sends her my way. 2016 sends her my way. Put it on for real. And this is the transition after I've done some time. I've messed around and continued to keep on messing up in life, and now I meet her, and then that kind of changes everything. It's the paradigm shift. She points me in the right direction. She says, hey, this is how you're supposed to be living. This is what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have to live in lies. You don't have to bullshit to all these people. You don't have to do this stuff. You don't have to hide your feelings and your emotions. You can let them out. And I've never had that before, because Hawaiians are raised to hold your tongue. You hold your tongue. You don't say shit. And you go out there and you do what you got to do. You're just a man. That's what you got to do about that stuff.
I think that's a universal man idea.
But I mean, the culture is just like it kills it.
Is your wife Hawaiian also? Or?
No, she's Mexican Moroccan.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so she's
Round of applause for the Mexican lady.
So how was
She's
that?
awesome.
How was that like as a man in your culture? Like you said, you're taught to hold your tongue first. For a woman to come in and tell you all these like positive things, like
you don't want to listen.
how was it receiving that? Because I can imagine like
years. We've been together since 2016, so close to 9 years now. Wrapping up first 2-3 years, 4 years of the relationship. It was me trying to be the dominant person overall, and not, hey, you know what, follow the steps in these ways and do this and do that. And to be honest, she comes from a world of like the UFC and structure and organization, and it's like I'm a dumb island boy, you know what I mean? At that moment, it's kind of like, man, she's just very educated, very smart. And she knows exactly what she wants and what she's shooting for. She has all the characteristics that I've wanted ever.
Kudos to you for even just everything that you just said right now. It takes a really awakened, down to earth person to be able to say and
as a man,
like notice, like acknowledge, like you just said all that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that's deep shit, and a lot of men don't go that deep, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
Like that was deep. And the
I think
fact
it
that
takes
you
the
notice
right woman too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, she's obviously a godly woman.
Yes.
And
Yeah, she's Catholic. So.
Yes, and I feel like a man can only go so far without God. We can only go so far, and it's harder doing it on our own, anyways, without him.
Right.
So I mean, I have full respect for that, man.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, that's a real man. Following God is hard. It's harder
Because you can't see him and you can't hear him, and you think that it's you believe that it's there, but in the back of your mind you're really telling yourself that it's not, because you're so used to being a certain way. Your
not
pride,
being held accountable.
your pride and your ego gets the best of you. You start to do things outside of pocket where you just that's not your true self. And that's what I've learned, not from her, also from other experiences, is that that's who you got to be. You got to be your true self at every single time. Then you can stop. You don't have to tell nobody anything different. You don't show up and go, oh, I'm this person, this person, this person. And then you walk away from the conversation. You start telling somebody else something different. They look at it and they're like, dude, he just said that he was this person, this person, this person. You know what I mean? And that right there, it's an eye opener for me.
Well, it's easier to do the bad things. I mean, that's what your flesh wants to do. You know what I mean? It's easier to do the bad things. It's harder to do good.
Yeah.
So when you're like pushing to do good, like it takes a lot to do that.
Yeah.
So once you start getting there, I feel like then you got like a road you're going down, and I think that's what you've been doing.
Yeah.
And it's easier with a good woman,
For sure.
It's a lot easier.
For sure. Yeah, and we got into this together, with the whole power slap thing, and it's not like I just made the ultimate decision of like, oh yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I still have to go through it with her and talk to her about everything and what do you think is going to happen off of all of this. And she comes from the UFC background. I mean, she was one of the producers for the Ultimate Fighter show back in the
wow.
day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's older.
How'd you meet her then?
I met her in UFC
Look at
gym.
you,
The
brother.
gym.
Oh, I
At
thought
the
you met her on the
UFC.
show. I thought you met her on the
No,
show.
No,
no,
he has
no.
a 6-year-old with her.
No,
right?
no, yeah.
Keep up, dude.
I met her at the UFC gym, and it's through a friend. So her best friend is Carrie Vera or Carrie Kasich, but that's Brandon Vera's ex-wife.
Oh,
And
okay.
then my good friend is Derek Cruz, which is Dominic Cruz's little brother.
Okay.
And we originally hired Derek to work with us at the UFC gym.
Oh,
And then, after doing my thing and, kind of going down the wrong criminal pathway and coming out and trying to reset myself, I go back to the gym and he's the general manager of there, but he's doing everything. So he's running the classes, he's doing the managing, he's doing the order, the inventory, he's doing every single piece. And then he sees me and he's like, bro, I need your help. And it's like, come in here. It's like, you be the general manager, bro. I don't care. Don't care about the position. I just want to go back to training people and just kind of like get his life back a little bit at that moment in time. So that's what we did. And then he's like, but look, I got, Carrie's a good friend coming in. And he's like, you got to go and, you got to meet her. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. And I'm on my hustle at this moment. You know what I mean? I go back to my old ways. I got to hustle. I got to do this. I got to do that. Nah, I'm not into meeting anybody at this moment. Oh, bro, you got to meet her.
That's usually when it
was the
happens.
push.
When you're not looking, you're not trying to find anyone, you're just like in your zone. It's usually when it happens.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone has had that moment where they're like, oh, I'm not dating, I'm not looking. And then boom, here comes the next
one.
Yeah, the one.
Check this out. So she's working out in the back of the gym. And it's a small gym, 2,200, 2,500 square foot, working out in the back of the gym. And I see her. And he's like, hey, man, you got to go talk to her. You got to go talk to her. You got to go talk to her. And I'm like, nah. And then I'm watching her, and she's doing, like, some squats. She's doing squats with the bar or whatever. And I see her, and she starts having that. She starts having that, like, oh, okay, my back starts to hurt, right? And maybe I'll walk up and, hey, look, what's going on with you? You got some back issues? What's happening, Just being curious.
Need a
Some back
spotter.
issues.
Need a spotter.
Just being curious.
Right.
So I break the conversation. We start talking. And at that moment, she's doing something called Total Combat, which is like a paintball place originally it started off as like a feeder show for the UFC, but then they turned it into a paintball thing.
No shit.
So
She's
now
doing all the cool shit.
she's doing everything.
like she'd be like dope to hang out with.
everything,
I
bro.
paintball and all that shit too. That's
So
just dope.
they're making a transition and they're doing virtual reality at this moment. So
Okay.
the whole entire wear the goggles, do all this stuff. And
Yeah.
they want to use me as a promo because I'm a big Hawaiian dude and I look scary. So they want me to put on these VR goggles and go through the whole entire motion and see how I act, right? So I react to all the things. If I'm scared, oh man, it would make a perfect promo. So we exchange numbers. Then I'm, talking about her, oh, okay, what about your back? We got to get that fixed. We got to figure out what's going on with that, right?
You're thinking about the back
So
for
look,
sure, aren't you?
So look, 3 days before, 3 days before I meet her and I tell her this, there's a massage place that's literally right outside of the gym. It's like, it's a walk away. And I went in there and Mama-san, obviously I got a massage. My back was hurting that day. So she hit me up and she gave me a massage. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got to go back there again the next day. So I went back and I was like, get another massage from her. And then she comes in that day and I'm like, oh man, I got it. This is it. Hey, look, I got this lady that she's like amazing with it. I'm gonna take you over there. Let's go have a little massage date, right? And she thought I was just trying to set it up, so that way she would just go in there and just do her massage or whatever it may be. And when we go on that day, it was set up for a couples massage.
Yeah, you got.
So we get to live
Together.
Dude, she was like, I think I gotta go. Like, I don't
Too
know
much
if this is
room.
gonna be something good. And I'm like, no, just trust it. Just
Yeah,
trust
it's
it.
cool.
Just
Just
go
take
with
your
it.
clothes
Just
off.
go
It's
with
cool.
it, dude. and ever since that day, I guess whatever charm that I had that day, it stuck. So
You Hawaiian assassined her too, didn't you?
I did. Locked her down.
Setting her up to where she has to see you without a shirt. That was a setup.
Oh my
Hey, how
God.
do you say your middle name? I want to know how to say that.
Nakane Oke Kai.
Nakane Okekai.
Perfect.
See, I have a buddy. He's Hawaiian too, and he has a crazy middle name too. That's why I see your long middle name. We were talking about it. His middle name is Ka'u'onani o Keleponi.
How did the?
Oh,
how
you
did just
practiced. I
say
tell
right?
you.
I know.
I've known him for years. I know him for
Okay,
years.
okay.
So I actually practiced when I was in high school. I was like, man, how do you say your middle name?
Uh-huh.
But his
He
whole
was like,
name.
I'm gonna get
His
this.
whole name is Cam Ka'u'onani o Keleponi Sikakwaptua. That's his whole name.
Bruh.
Yeah.
That's the
And
perfect.
I was like,
one for
dude,
that.
Tongue
that's crazy. I would tell him, he's all, dude. He's like he's a really smart dude, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I go, dude, you're like a genius. I go, all because you had to spell your name, huh? And he's like, dude, when everybody, that was the hardest thing for me to do. When everybody spelled their name, it's okay, time to spell your name. I was like, oh fuck. He's like, I can do everything else but spell my whole name.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Wow.
Yeah, every time I tell somebody, it's like, oh man, what's your name? And it's like, well, it's Pono.
Oh no.
Oh wow, okay, that's pretty short. What's your last name? It's Pao. Like, oh wow, that's even shorter. I was like, what's your middle name? Oh, Nakani Okikai Kanako Ole. And they're like,
Huh?
what the hell? It's like, that's, I was like, dude, it's like 26 letters.
When you married your wife, did she have to say, "I take Pono"?
No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she
can't
kept
say
she
it.
kept it to the base, the first and last. That's it. Yeah, that's it. She couldn't say all that
So
stuff.
she's Miss Pow, huh?
But she practices all the time, and it usually comes out like Nakaneoka Kaleka Maki Makahaina Hainiho or something like that. She's just Mekaliki Lina Hainaho or something
So
like
she
that.
still tries?
She yeah.
Dude,
to this
I
day.
was staying in Utah for a while, and there's a lot of polys out there. So like Tongans and Hawaiians,
Yeah.
and, so I like learned a lot like with them. You know what I mean? I'd go to the powwows and all that, and they had they would have Tongans, Samoans, Hawaiians, all of them up there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool, dude. Like I learned, I didn't know about Hawaiian culture at all living out here until I moved out there.
Same.
You know, it's like I was like, oh, it's all so different. You know, their culture is just different.
Yeah, and that, a lot of Samoans, in like Oceanside area, and dude, I never thought it was like that. When I moved to California, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know what a Chaldean person was.
What's
What
that?
is
I haven't heard
that?
that. Actually.
See, look at that.
A what? A cow?
It's Middle Eastern.
I'm all
It's
amazed.
Middle Eastern.
Chaldean.
I never heard that
Chaldean.
either, though.
Right, yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, Chaldean, what is that? And it was like, and then we're from the Middle East.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh wow. So look, mind blown,
Interesting.
mind blown, right?
You
And that's
learn
the first
something
time.
new every day.
Yeah. And all my friends were Chaldean, and like when I first opened up the UFC gyms, like they ran all the smoke
really?
shops and the hookah lounges
Yeah,
and all the other stuff along the way. And so
Oh, I
that
just
was
told
my
them
very.
Habibis.
That was my Habibis, yeah, exactly. But that was my first connection to to having like and they, once you become their inner circle, they treat you like family.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
huge. It's
I have
huge,
a bunch
man.
of Habibi friends.
Yeah.
They're my fave.
Yeah.
It's always like, hey, what's up?
Yep. Yeah. So I outside of just like the regular base of cultures that you see in Hawaii, Filipinos, Samoan, Tongans, I didn't know anything else. You know what I mean? And it's like moving to California was like, okay, well, I'm gonna move out here, and first thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna end up with a Latina girl or a Mexican girl as soon as I
Out
move
here,
out here.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, okay, that's exactly what's gonna happen to me. Yep. And I moved into El Cajon, and El Cajon was a Habibi Central. Everybody out there is Habibi. So
how far do you want to take this power slap? Like, what are you thinking about this?
changing the game.
Changing the game?
Just trying to be like there's real pioneers to the sport, like
Yeah,
the Crazy
there is.
Hawaiian, Wolverine, all the bigger names. I mean, and to say that they're pioneers for being from day one, like slap fighting championships from other events coming into this and creating, and even some international, with the Polish, then Russians, and I really want to be that guy, that innovator, that game changer, somebody that comes in with a different type of mindset and just shows it. A little bit of discipline in there too, just mix it all together so that way people understand. It's like it's not just slapping at this moment in time. It's switching over to where you have to act and be an athlete. You have to. It's not gonna get any worse. It's gonna get better and better and better for the people that's coming in. I mean, they're bringing in wrestlers. They're bringing in people that are athletically fit. Paige Van Sant. She's in almost every single event you can think of.
I was just gonna ask: is there women power slappers?
Yeah.
Have they gone to
guys
that
would be
side?
like,
Can we
Yeah.
get them on here?
Dude.
I know, because I'm like, we've only interviewed
them our way.
men like power slappers, so I'm like, where are the
No.
women at?
No
Yeah, we haven't
way.
had
Send
one
some
girl.
our way.
I've hit one girl up, but she's
Stop.
Yeah.
far. She's
Send some
far
good ones our
actually.
way. I can reach
Jackie,
out to them.
Jackie, dude, I need to bring you on this
You
podcast.
could have one of them smack you guys. You know what I mean?
Easy
Wow.
there. Easy there. Okay, easy there.
Yeah.
I just want to
Calm
get some
down.
tips. How do I cock it back real good?
Extension is everything. Yep. Yeah. So I mean, Jackie, competed on this last power slap. All right. So you just try to get her on here.
Yeah,
that
I'm
would be
down.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because I mean, she's always down for that stuff. I mean, we do some other podcasts together, and I mean, we're really close. After me competing on Power Slap 10, obviously she's female, so she immediately gravitated to my wife first, right? And just like, oh, this
As
is
she should.
Oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, who's your husband? Oh, that guy over there. He competed on season 3. Oh, that's your husband? Okay. And then
That's
I mean,
dope.
the relationship is just built from there. Just
Genuine.
it's loyalty all day and all day throughout. It's this. If you become family with me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like it ain't gonna become anything different. It's like once you give me your time, once you give me your that reach. Oh, okay, perfect. It's like let's do this. You know what I mean? Let's make something happen from this. And Jackie's been practicing. She's been getting on her groove, so she's gonna come out there and she.
Deliver.
We gotta get her on.
Hopefully she'll be the first female power slap belt holder. That's what we're trying to.
Nice.
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get her up.
It looked brutal. I've seen some of the girls on there. They're smacking
Yeah.
hard.
I'm gonna
as
go
fuck,
see
too.
them
Like, it's
now.
like boom. Yeah, they're going hard. It's crazy.
I gotta watch it.
Have you
I
seen
know, right?
the new
That's the
thing
new
that they got
badges.
going on where they're leg kicking each other?
Yeah.
That shit is so cool. Like
Leg
damn.
kicking?
Now they're doing the leg kicks on above the
No,
thigh.
Uh-huh.
those
Damn.
hurt.
No
bro.
shin guards,
Like,
nothing. Just wham.
Oh,
But
heck no.
I knew that stuff was coming.
Yeah.
I
After
mean,
the power slap, I was like, yeah.
After power slap, it's gonna go to everything. I even saw one where it's definitely international. That's for sure. But they kick each other in the balls.
Oh my gosh.
They sock each other in the balls. I saw that
Like
and I was
it's
like,
like a
I'd be
competition.
against
Like
Yeah.
oh my
I don't even want to
Hey.
watch that shit.
you get a ring and
That is
everything. You just they
crazy.
You ain't
put
having
you in a
no
ring.
Kicking the
Oh my
nads.
God.
That's all.
You ain't having no
Go ahead.
kids at all.
So I'm gonna tell you a crazy story because you bring that up and you're like it's international. So someone had asked my mom in Vegas because she lives in Vegas to kick him in the balls and he was gonna pay her $50. I don't know how
Get outta
she
here.
ran into. Yes, I don't know who it
Did
was.
she do it though?
She did it.
Yeah.
But wait, not only that, she took my sister with her to go do it because she's like, I don't know this guy. This is weird. Like, he's going to pay me $50 to go kick him in the balls. And so she does it. And then she tells the guy, she's like, I have my daughter here. You want her to do it too? And he's like, yeah, sure. Paid her $50
That's right.
too.
Let's get that 52.
Did he record it or was he
My
just sick
mom
in the head?
recorded it. She
So
recorded
he
it.
didn't
Get
want it for
outta
content. He was
here.
just
No, my mom recorded it. He just, I don't know if it was some kind of.
Dude.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy.
Crazy is right because I had the same kind of DM.
No way.
I swear.
For you to
And-
kick
and,
someone.
And the guy was like, I mean, you can fake anything on Instagram.
Yeah,
right?
I'm always sketchy
He was
about
claiming that he was like a doctor or something, he had a PhD or something like
Wow.
that. But he's like, hey man,
That's weird.
He's like, and it wasn't even pertaining to slap.
no.
So that's
fair.
where it kind of blew
I
my
always
mind.
get
I was
the
like,
weird
oh,
messages.
he doesn't want me to slap him. So what does he want me to do? He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, I got just an awkward request. And I'm
You're like, slap me in the balls? What
what's
do you
going
want?
on, bro? And he's like, oh, yeah, well, you already kind of know where this is going, And I'm like, no, I don't. Where is this going, brother?
That's
and he's like,
crazy.
and he's telling me, he's like, hey, you know
I would
what?
have been like, so you want me to laugh at you?
So he's like, hey, I want you to kick me. And I'm like, okay. It's like, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. It's
Yeah.
like, you want me to kick you? I was like, yeah, bro. Maybe like 10 times. I'll pay you. And I'm, shit. Okay, let's do this then. And it's like, you know how big my leg is, right? I'm just telling him, like, I'm right now, you know how big my leg is, right? It's like, have you seen
And
me
you know
before?
how to kick.
Dude, and I know how to kick.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and I'm gonna granny kick him too. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, this guy's only gonna take one. He's like, and he wants 10 of them.
Damn.
And I'm like, dude, you're not gonna
Fool's
survive
gonna bust
10.
his leg
He's
up.
like, wait, you gotta get the best part. This is the best part. And I was like, what? And he's like, I want you to kick me 10 times in the balls.
Oh my
And
god.
I was like, get some help. Out of here. He's like, bro, about 400 or
my
500.
And what'd he say?
And he did.
He's on
Obviously,
that.
it went ghost town. Nobody
Oh
agreed
my
to
God,
that. One.
that's
I was like,
crazy.
dude. And then I tried to tell him, I was like, bro, you haven't even seen me kick before.
Yeah.
It was like, you can imagine, like, if you see me kick first, then you want that to your balls, bro. It's done.
Yeah.
It's like
What do they tell you to do?
You're not having kids
Weirdos.
forever.
What do they
I
tell you
literally
online?
just had someone message me.
Right here. So go ahead.
Oh my god, if they're watching. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
they're watching.
No, so they said that they wanted to show me their thing so I can laugh at it.
What?
He's like, I'm gonna show you my pee.
So
I'm gonna show you
if
my
I
pee-pee.
get messages like that, I'm gonna just like not even read it. I'm just gonna assume that's where they're going because.
But that was a one and done.
But
I mean, that was the
there
first
are
message and the
people that
last.
get
Yeah.
there are people that get a kick out of being hurt like that though, and it's not
Yeah.
like a hee hit. It's like a
It's
weird.
a weird fetish.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
fetish.
I got it.
Yeah.
That's
I
why
got it.
I think the guy
wasn't
in
trying to be
Vegas.
that guy.
Yeah.
The guy in Vegas. I think it was just a fetish because
He didn't
I mean,
even have nobody recording.
he
him.
was by himself, like you know,
really
and I'm
weird.
like,
If he didn't have nobody
This is
recording it for like
weird.
likes or something, the dude
No.
just got turned on after that.
Also,
shit.
did you guys
And
know?
then
Oh, he
he
wanted to
asked her-
record. He
he
wanted to
asked her-
record. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna record this," and I was like,
I think he asked her later too to like stomp on it next time, and he was
Oh,
gonna
my
pay her more
gosh.
money or something crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, Mom, okay, are you serious? She's like, No, I'm not gonna do that. That's crazy. But I was like, I can't believe
That's
you did it.
crazy.
At least like just
I draw the
kicked
line
him.
at stomping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
wild.
bro,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
is
that's just-
happening? What, crazy people out there.
It's just-
He's always
the,
there.
the biggest shout out is to my mom. My
Nice.
mom,
Yes.
100%. My wife,
Mom,
100%.
wife, yes.
And me and wifey are doing some things right now where she's already opened up a management company, a management agency called Heavy Hitters Management, and we're trying to teach exactly what she's been teaching me to all the other strikers
wow.
in the game, and then tossing in all the other parts to it so that way they can
Nice.
actually establish themselves, business, LLC, get all your EIN
Nice.
stuff together, get credit repair done. Just give them the nuggets.
We should bring both of you on together.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Power
I mean, she would have been out here, but she's the main events manager for the Hard Rock Hotel in downtown San Diego.
Oh, okay.
So she's right now. It's
Ooh.
Cinco de Mayo weekend,
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
popping, it's busy, and it's been hectic for her for the last like 3 days, 4 days. So I mean, other than that, she would have ended up coming up here with me. But that's the big transition is that we got that going, and we got some stuff that can't be released just yet, but it's gonna be amazing once it does hit, and it's gonna change the game for Power Slap, change the game for the people that are actually competing in it, and really teach them about mindset. Really just try to change this with the way this operates. Stop thinking why me, the victim mentalities.
Yeah.
Like, get
Filling the gaps.
out of the box. Make yourself uncomfortable. If you're comfortable where you are, there's a problem. It's because you're just getting stagnant. You're just feeling the same exact way. We need to get you out of there. We need to be able to work on this first, you know. And just like my boy Mike, when he gets on here and he does his thing, he's gonna say it better than I do. Is that the mindset is everything. You change this, you can change the whole entire game because we are thoughts. We're just a physical body moving around this world, and we're thoughts.
Raiden wrote back in. He's like, we all look up to my bro Pono, man. So they're just giving a shout out to you.
Dude, and they are the best. Like that crowd. I mean, everybody in general, the Power Slap community, everything that every person that I've ran into, I've met up to this point, has been a change in my life too.
Community is
That's
important. Back
awesome.
to that same thing.
I tell it to everybody, and proximity. You got to have these people around you, always consistently focused and going and guided to a certain point. You got to get that point across. You can't. Once you start to diddle daddle, once you start to kind of get distracted in all these other things, that's when the world catches up. That's when the material catches up. That's when all these other things start shifting the way you want to be. You have a goal.
Yeah.
You have a goal in mind, and that's to be the best version of yourself, no matter how it looks. So you want to be able to teach that and preach that to every single person out there.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes,
Like
sir.
you killed
Yes,
it
sir.
today, dude.
Thank you.
I'm a fan of the Power Slap now, and the community, dude. Like I like all the guys coming on, and it's so cool to really talk to them at the beginning of a sport that's really just starting to take off.
Yeah.
And it's cool because, like, I mean, I get to say, hey, I got to talk to these guys during the growth of it.
Yes.
I mean, imagine all these sports that have grown. Like, not everybody got a chance to be there at the beginning and talk to the guys as it's growing. I think that's so dope, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the same thing here. Just being in the very beginning stages of this sport, knowing that it's what we would consider it's called a blue ocean. Right, there's nothing else going out there. It's a very open and clean. We can kind of move around, and it's being molded as we speak. So anything you do at this point, in this moment in time, is going to only progress the sport in a way that, because it's already going to grow as is. It's doing amazing things. Dana has a strategic plan for everything that he invests in. So this is going to be that next part where this is going to continue to grow. We've already reached international levels where we be able to go out and compete in Saudi, compete in Abu Dhabi, and all the other places. And now back home on homeland, we've got Vegas, we've got Miami coming up, we've got all these other events that are potential to just kind of grow it, right? Instead of being every 2 months, it's going to be every month, just like the UFC.
Yeah.
It's just going to get better and better and better. Training camps are going down. Things are happening right now where it's going to just improve everything for everyone's lives right now at this moment.
That's badass, dude. Well, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yes.
Want to call it out for the Shed the Sheep?
Yes, our slogan is "Shed the sheep."
Oh,
So on the count of three,
I
we're
watched,
gonna look
I
at
heard.
the camera.
Yes.
All right,
Shed the
1,
Sheep.
2, 3.
Shed the sheep.
Howls over Baaz. I'm
Let's
Jacob
go.
Casas.
I'm Melanie.
Cat baby. Sorry.
And the Hawaiian Assassin.
Appreciate you guys for
Yeah.
watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we're out.
Thank you.